Okay, welcome back. So this is VMware vRealize Automation 8.3, configuring Microsoft Azure Cloud account. In this project, we're going to create Microsoft Azure Cloud account, and we want to make sure that we can deploy a simple cloud template. So first step, we're going to create Microsoft Azure Cloud account using vRealize Automation. We're going to create our project for Azure and add the cloud zone. We're going to create a flavor mapping again, which is basically a t-shirt size, and create an image mapping, which is the OS. And we're going to create a template, a simple template, and we're going to deploy that template to Azure. And then we're going to test if it's deployed successfully. So first, we're going to log into VRA. Login, so we're going to log in using the same credentials. Again, go to Cloud Assembly and then look for cloud accounts. And the first step is we're going to add cloud account. This time it's not AWS but Azure. Let's name this one as VMware Azure. Subscription ID can be taken from Azure, and tenant ID. So these are very important. Client ID plus the shared key or the secret key. Let's validate. So credential validated successfully, which means our VRA is communicating to our Azure compute resource. And then we're gonna select compute location. We will allow provisioning to let's say East US, and make sure create a cloud zone for selected region is thick. Then click add. So that's it. We get our first, we have created a Microsoft Azure cloud account. So we can create VM, deploy resources, or whatever you want to do from here. Task number 2, we're going to create a project in cloud, add cloud zone. So we're going to go to projects from left pane, administration. Then create a new one. Let's name this project as VMware. Sorry. Oh, yeah, VMware Azure. Then create. Then user, we need to specify which user we want to use. So add user. Select config admin. Then he's a member. Click the user. So we have our user, which is just a member. Create. And go to provisioning. Then we're going to add the zone. This, what is it? Cloud zone. Cloud zone is the one we previously created from a step number 1. And then click add and create. Okay. So that's done. Task number 2 is finished. We just created a project and add the cloud zone. Next step is we're going to create a flavor mapping, which is basically mapping the image. So from left pane, we need to look for flavor mapping. There you go, flavor mapping. Click flavor mapping. Then let's name this one as Azure Small. And deployed to East US. And the flavor, we're going to select, in Azure, the smallest one I think is standard B1S. So just type standard B1S. So there you go. B1S basically, I think, is just 1 gig RAM, 1 CPU. So we have our flavor mapping. Then next, we're going to create an image mapping, basically on what operating system we're going to deploy. So from the left pane, just look for flavor mapping, which is just below flavor mapping. Click new image mapping. Let's name this one as Azure Photon OS. And we're gonna deploy this photon in our region, US, East US. The image we're gonna use, of course, is a photon. So just type photon OS. There you go. And that's it. So we just created the first image for Azure. Next, create a simple cloud template. So we need to go back to the design. So design is basically a studio. And click new from blank canvas. Let's name the canvas or the project as Azure Photon. This project should be mapped to Azure since we're doing Azure Cloud. Then click create. So this is our design canvas. Then this is our code, YAML code and properties. So from cloud agnostic network, so select this one and drag it here. So we get a network. And then Cloud Azure machine. So we need to select the machine. So select from Microsoft Azure machine. There you go. And then we're going to connect this network, this cloud network, to our instance in Azure by clicking the bubble. Okay, so they're connected. As soon as you click this one, it created a resource named network. Okay, and resource cloud networks binded to this image. Now we need to do something with the YAML. So let's go to YAML. Click image because we need to define what operating system we have to define. In this instance, we can select the photon image and the t-shirt size, which is just a Azure B1S. Okay, that's it. Easy peasy. So we just created a simple cloud template. Now let's test by deploying the image. So deploy. So let's name this Azure Photon OS deployment, then click deploy. So it's deploying, then go to Azure console. So you can see from this image, so this is our recent resource, which is a Photon OS, and the network, it created its own network instance, and our subscription. And then we're going to go to virtual machine to check if it's been created. There you go. Cloud Azure Machine 1. Virtual machine currently running on East US. That's it. Finish. So we just created that first cloud account in Microsoft Azure, and then create our project, add cloud zone, created a flavor mapping, image mapping. We create a very simple cloud template, and we were able to deploy a virtual machine in Azure using vRealize automation.